Yep, yep, yep. Apologize for the background noise. There is, I guess, an RV with a flat in my cul-de-sac that they're trying to work out a tow on right now. And so there's a lot of big truck idling sounds in the back. And I imagine they will ultimately pull away, right? Being that we're wearing less for the summer, you can see more of like how much I've lost this year and why I'm starting to feel like Eugenia Cooney. Starting to see skin sag everywhere, you guys. All over my body, all the way down to my calves. Skin sag everywhere. I mean, when you have edema and they don't even tell you that you have it, um, there is a risk that you will bloat up with water retention. And that's what happened to me, right? So I gained a serious amount of weight in February and then started rapidly dropping. So I went from 172 down to 115, you guys. And it's affected my skin because I'm not as young as I used to be, right? I'm not as young as I used to be. And so my skin can't really keep up with those types of rapid changes. The last time I had skin sag so severely like that was in 94 when I gave birth to my son. Yeah, so there's that. So anyway, Xylie went live today alone, which first that indicates to me that Billy didn't want to co-sign. She could say whatever she wants, but he did not jump up and panel with her on this one because she was making some pretty strong allegations against Sweet Tea. She spent 3 hours dragging Sweet Tea. Um, I dropped one comment in the chat and I said, this is a bad idea. It's going to backfire. She did refer to my comment and said I was wrong. Well, Xylie, you might think I'm wrong, but you're the one who appears to have somebody living rent free in your head that you are keeping some sort of folder on, some sort of files, so that at any moment you can do a hit piece on her. And the fun fact of this particular live stream, I couldn't even watch the whole thing. It just got she's just such an angry person at all times, you know. Um, she's re-describing the events that have happened to Sweet Tea and thinking that if she says it in a certain tone of voice, if she says it a certain kind of way, it's going to sound much more dastardly, Sweet Tea's action. And that she's so smart in how she picks her words. Well, she's, a YouTuber now. So maybe she's been careful about what kind of words she chooses so that she doesn't, you know, cuck the content like you do regularly. Okay, so there's that. Um, uh, this will backfire on her because if it's not addressed within the main network, the fact that she went off for 3 hours on Sweet Tea, who is a current host, who Brantley said she wants to keep her on the show. This is not a good look for you. And the thing is, oh, okay, Sylvia, I don't know what that's about, but um, I have no reason to believe that being vaccinated had anything to do with my decline. In fact, I have every reason to believe that complex regional pain syndrome is the root cause behind the health issues I've faced in the last 3 years. But, there's all kinds of content creators out there, Sylvia, who make all kinds of crap. Anyway, let me get back to this story. So basically, Xylie created a 3 hour stream against one of the new hosts who she feels. I just don't think she's choosing the right words, right? She should probably describe her as I feel like she's acting entitled. I feel like she's not using the right avenues to report when she's uncomfortable. Things like that. But instead, she's just like, don't even fucking talk about it. Don't even talk about it. The thing is that I'm guessing, and I know, Sylvia, you're trying to come at me because I don't look so good right now. Right? I'm not looking my best. Um, I don't know if Xylie has always had a hard time actually looking good or not, but her nickname within the LCU and outside of the LCU is Crypt Keeper. She's a year younger than me. And this appears very much to me as somebody who doesn't have any relatable experience to being put under pressure to produce sexual content. And it seems pretty obvious that the network has been increasingly trying to pressure the hosts, especially people like Sweet Tea, to produce sexual content because they're young and pretty. Xylie is not. She's not young and pretty, you guys. I would not get, look, if I was in that universe, I'm not even in their Discord because it sounds toxic as fuck. But, like, if I was a part of that universe, there's no way I would try and weigh in on the young people problems. Not like that. You know what I mean? Like I would think back, okay, what was it like for me when I was 28 and working? Oh yeah, I got hit on. That's right, we had a lot of drinking events at work and stuff. I definitely got hit on. For sure, But I managed to just make it a comfortable situation for me where I exited this situation. I think that when you're a host, a YouTube host in a Discord of YouTube hosts, we're encouraged to continue the entertainment there. It could be probably very difficult to have that separation and know when it's okay to say no. And it seems like a lot of these younger women have a hard time knowing when is it okay and playful banter versus when is it getting extreme. And so my advice for you, Sweet Tea, don't fucking do anything Billy asks you to do. Because he has proven time and time again that he is making inappropriate requests of his fellow hosts. Period. He puts undue pressure on everybody in that network, including Boogie. Boogie did a sleep stream where people were sending him pizza, but they wanted to like pull what do you want to have on the pizza. And so they got donos to say, add anchovy, have, no cheese, um, things like that, right? And Billy just said he was reading it back, but threw on that you can't have sauce either. Nobody fucking paid for that, Billy. You made that bullshit up. He's constantly there to fuck with his co-hosts. He thinks it's hilarious because he too, just like Xylie, has no fucking life outside of the LCU. And it's sad and it's apparent, and they've become more and more honest about it in recent live streams. Like the masks they're falling off because they can't hold it together long enough to pretend that they are who they are, because they're not. Even Xylie on her stream today admitted she doesn't have a resume. Nightmare, you yelled at me about that bullshit. I'm saying horrible things about your the co-hosts within the universe. I said she had no resume. She admitted today she doesn't, but she has a name. Anybody can have a screen name they've used for years and years. I have used Amazing Maisie since like 2003. Okay? And the only reason I was going under my real name for a while is because when Google bought out YouTube, they basically asked the entire user base to change to our real names, like Facebook does, right? So I went ahead and I complied. I had a small channel. I was just sharing like family videos and shit like that. Because that's what I thought YouTube was all about when we first got started. It was just about, you want to share some videos with your family. I didn't really have a lot to do with what was going to happen with it, or how I could use it to my benefit, or even just turn it into a hobby. But as I realized how toxic some of the material is that I cover, i.e. the LCU, because even Foodie doesn't come after me like this. Chantel watches my channel, but she's not threatened by me. In fact, she gets talking points from me. And she gets updates about you guys from me. I don't have a fear that Foodie's going to come after me for having some critical commentary, because she knows I'm not the one who doxes her. I'm not the one who makes the phone calls. I'm not trying to get in her face, right? But these crazy bitches, they've been out there contacting people trying to ruin me, which is what Sylvia is kind of trying to point out here, is that somebody's going to include me in an anti-vax video. Well, it'll be taken out of context because I had a severe health crisis 3 years ago that has affected me, and I've been declining ever since. Right now I'm rebuilding. I finally pulled myself out of one of my cycles, and I've been home cooking and doing quite well. So I feel pretty proud of what I've accomplished in the last few days. Took Miss Sally out for a walk last night. You know, it's baby steps. I can't really walk, but I also can't control what it is to gain and lose weight very quickly and have your skin stretched out. That's just not going to happen. So, I mean, at least I'm not hiding. I'm not hiding behind an avatar, right? Anywho, I imagine there's going to be some fallout from this old hag doing a 3-hour stream against Sweet Tea, who she's young, she's green, as Xylie likes to put it. She's somewhat ignorant in many ways, and she definitely needs to grow. But Xylie doesn't care about any of that bullshit because she's stupid too. Let's be real. She cares that Sweet Tea is pretty and getting attention, and that Beans is jealous of her. Beans can't work with women. She has never successfully worked with a female cast. Look back. She cannot work with women. Anywho, that's my 2 cents on this morning's activities. And, well, now it's the afternoon because I have enough shade that I can actually sit on my balcony again. Um, I don't know, Sylvia. I think I'm starting to feel a little bit better. Look, I'm kind of filling in some of the gaps. Filling in some of the gaps. What do you mean they're going to use me as an example? I'm a 51-year-old lady. Why don't you show somebody in their 20s where their skin started like doing this because they took the vaccination? Give me a break. I took that vaccination in 2021, and I've had a few boosters along the way, but how can people be so fucking crazy about their health? These are people who won't even go to the doctor in the first place. God damn. Okay. Well, I hope you all have a happy Sunday. Let's see what the fallout is from this old ugly bitch coming after the new young blood at the LCU. No, I appreciate you telling me about it, Sylvia. I imagine you're not the one. But I'm just telling you how I feel about something like that. That there's always going to be bad faith actors creating videos. Period. And you have to be super careful when it comes to people spreading medical misinformation. I don't know if YouTube's cracking down on that anymore. They used to crack down on it pretty severely, but maybe now that it's not as considered, now that so many people are vaccinated, that it's not really considered a health crisis anymore. Um, I don't think they really crack down on it as much. But that person's just gonna look like a fucking idiot, you know? Well, I've been to lots of doctors along the way, and that's not the cause of it. So, I have edema, and that's not the cause of it. Okay. You take care. You should check out what I'm talking about, because I feel like there's going to be some fallout here. Have a nice Sunday.